What's up, traders? Back for another daily recap here on Tuesday, June 15th. Let's get to it. All right, so the theme of today was pretty much top tick stocks and watch them go back way lower than where you ended up covering. So, yeah, we had a nice little line here on UAVS. Had that drawn earlier, but restarted my computer, so it's not there anymore. But as you can see, we blew through that as well as the whole dollar. Got a nice entry here on the first trade. And let's just zoom in right here real quick. And as you can see, we wrote it right back down to that line, put a take profit order out, and we got hit. Then you can see it pump back up, made a nice little move up towards 630. Was actually looking to try to grab this towards 650. However, it just did not want to get up there. You could feel it jiggling. You could feel the selling pressure starting to come in. So we jumped back in, came right back down, put an order right above that previous resistance, and we got filled pretty quickly. You can see it tried to bounce back up, attempt to go back up towards the highs, but just ran way too much selling pressure, and ultimately just sat here and sold off the rest of the day. Our next trade was on TYHT, which ended up being an amazing trade. As you can see, if we scroll out, this had some after hours stuff going on here. I don't know if this was earnings. I don't know what it was, but that was kind of what we were using, looking for the pop through 850 as a guideline. I actually believe that the halt price as this shot up was around like 888 or so. So when it started to struggle here around 860, I actually missed the first move. It actually came back down. If you go pull up the live stream and watch this live, the move went up, came down under 50, went back up. I think it came down. I think I got it on the third attempt, but you could tell it was just really struggling. This thing had a pretty decent spread on it as well, so I had to make sure that I wasn't about to get, the shit end of the stick on the spread. Seeing the ask at 760 or 860, and I hit the bid and it's at like 740 or something, and those or 840. Sorry, I keep looking at the level one. I see that's where it's at, but we're up here in the eights. So put an order out down here at 812, I believe it was. Yep, 812, and I ended up getting hit. It took a little bit. I kept trying to bounce around like 820. Couldn't quite get through there. I think it was like 822, but eventually we got the bounce, and yeah. The pullback, and yeah, nice little take profit. That this trade alone was about half Q, because I normally would be going for like right around here. About half of that move was here, so I probably would have been shooting for like 820. And if I did, we're talking closer to a normal trade. But since we held on for that extra little bit, we ended up with a pretty darn good trade, I must say myself. Then the next trade was on DPW. And this was more of a scout play. It popped up through 350. Wasn't the best of moves, as you can see. Oops, what did I do? Went back to Tesla by accident. DPW wasn't the best of moves. We had the previous resistance here. It blew through. Could arguably have taken a trade here looking for the pullback. Ultimately, it did not. I was waiting for the 350 pop. We get the 350 pop. We get in. Tried to wait a little bit longer, but it kept getting bought up. We ended up taking this before it jumped back up through 350, and ultimately we ended up being right. It just kept getting bought up. You can see these bottoming tails, and obviously we were looking for about 50%, so probably somewhere around here, and we just couldn't get down there. So a little unfortunate there, and it ended up going higher ultimately to get rejected and move lower the rest of the day. And then the one that we just took not too long ago before I started making this was TTCF. This one popped up, and as you can see, if we scroll all the way out, we don't really have too much to go off of as far as previous resistance. So I was actually looking at this in my head. But then as you can see, as the move happened, we did have one here, which is kind of what I was using. And so we get the big pop. And on this candle here, this big long green candle up to 24, it wasn't like necessarily really fast, but the ask was just getting hit, and it was going and going and going. And when it got to 24, I was like, wow, this is going to blow through 24, and it's going to squeeze up to like 24.30 or so. And it just didn't do it. It actually got rejected, and it hung out here for about a minute or so, and then finally broke through 24 and gave us a decent little pop. I waited for the jiggle. We got short. 24.25 was the top. We got in at 24.13, and it popped all the way back down through 24. I think I had an order at like, what was it? Yeah, 72. But as you can see, what was the low of this candle? 80. It just couldn't get down there. So I ended up taking it off at 86. Once I realized it started to not want to go any lower, it did go back up to 96 to try to go back through 24, and then ultimately got absolutely demolished. So our reads have been on point as far as like the price action goes. What they do in the end is completely up to the stock market gods. Obviously the higher probability play is that it's going to do something like this, at least maybe come down and at least give you this $50 test. But, I'm not in this game right now. You guys see, all my charts look pretty identical. Intense move, pullback. You see me enter towards the top of that intense move and get out on the pullback, and you'll usually see it bounce at some point around where I get out. And if that happens to go high of day, like it did on DPW, then it goes high of day. If it wants to go all the way back down, like TTCF, TYHT, which we actually caught most of that one, UAVS, this one actually ended up going higher, right? And then again, we got out and it bounced and then ended up going lower. Like what it does after that pullback, to me, it's a 50-50 shot, and it really doesn't matter to me what it does. So after the red day yesterday, not a bad day today, got pretty much most of it back. Actually, I haven't even entered that into TraderSync yet. So how about we do that together? I know this is probably going to look a little funky because I don't have the chat on there, but I don't have another screen for this yet. But let's go ahead and throw this in there real quick. I did save it. I just didn't put it in. Let's see, 6/15, June 15, import. There we go. And as you will see, we pretty much got mostly everything that we lost yesterday. We're pretty close. We were about like $30 off. So getting a lot better with recovering the losses that we do have quicker. The idea is if we were to have a max loss, it would take 6 days to get back. Yesterday was 2Q instead of 6. So it should only theoretically take 2 days, but we got more than half of that back today, and hopefully we can have a very similar day tomorrow, and we'll be back climbing again. So that's all I got for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I always appreciate that support. I'm going to be making that 3K sub giveaway video here very shortly. I know I said I was going to do it last week, but then with the wife and the gallbladder and just all this stuff going on right now, it's always something. It's always something, but we will get it done. I promise. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.